Welcome back to Dank Scott Traders Hub. Now we are back for the BTC analysis. It is Tuesday. You know how we do this. We always come around at 1 p.m. East African time to analyze and check the charts of BTC and look at what is happening, whether it responded to our analysis or not, whether we have an entry or not. All right. Without any further ado, you know we don't normally waste time with BTC. Let's get into it and look at what is happening in the world of BTC. So on Friday, I think on Friday we analyzed, so we saw this was what? This was a pennant, and I told you guys, those who remember, if you missed the analysis on Friday, you can do what? You can go and look for episode number 53, I think. I think 53. So right about here, if I can bring this here, this was Friday. So I told you guys that we will be looking for the pullback there, fake breakout, then later we continue with sells. The bears still had enough momentum, so that was just a fake breakout to come to that fair value gap on H4. After grabbing that liquidity on H4 right there, we saw price come all the way to hit our target where I had told you, and that is where that is on a daily time frame fair value gap. That is a fair value gap on the daily time frame, and you can see it was hit right there, then got a pullback, then again gave us a break of structure to go and at least break the middle of that fair value gap. And from then, that's where we started to see some buys come in shape. All right, so now all this is no longer needed. We can delete it and look at and then look at I think even this can go. So right about here we see where price reacted from. Again, that was an order block right there where this buy momentum started from. So price went into the buys, came back, tested that level, and then look at the momentum that it went with from this level. Let's see, was it when? It was yesterday when price reacted there. Why? Because it had already given us here on H1 a change of character right there. So it went for that high. After giving us that high, came, tested that level. This was supposed to be our perfect entry for the buys yesterday. So as we speak today, yesterday, price went all the way back to that resistance level, and clearly you see prices being held up right there. Prices being held up right there, and we can see that according to H1, looking at our indicator CCI and RSI there, it is showing us that we are overbought, meaning we anticipate sells again. But sells to where? We need to understand that. So if I go to H4, I see that we are almost reaching our retracement level. That tells us that we are not ready to sell, but then we are going to consolidate until H4 is over, until H4 reaches the retest level on CCI. Then we can come in with a retracement trade. According to Fib, we can get to know where price will be coming back to, and that will be this area right in there. That's what you'd anticipate. And looking at that, I have actually a fair value gap between this level and here. So it tells us the price is going to come here and then get us back into buys. That is according to H4, and of course according to daily time frame. According to daily time frame, this is now a support area. This fair value gap is now a support area, so I can easily delete these and delete that. Now I want to delete also this. It's not necessary. This one can stay. This one, price has not gone back to it, but I want to have this as a trend line right there. That as a trend line, and also this now is my other trend line right there, if you can see it. So that gives us what is happening right here. This is a clear thing for us to understand. So already we know that we need more buys, but as you can see now, we have an expanding falling wedge, and we know that this is going to be giving us a continuation of this previous move, of this previous trend, which is the buy trend or the uptrend. So we will be looking for that kind of move all the way there. So are we going to see it now? I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but as we apparently where we are, if you look at H4, we still need more buys to reach at least the other upper trend line. But before we see that before we see price reach that upper trend line, we are going to anticipate a pullback to this level and then continuation of buys to there. That is what we have already understood. So for now, we have no business with this. We can wait for the sales, which are going to be on H1 and of course M15. Yeah, of course M15, but with BTC, I would rather have an entry on H1 and make sure you at least have a good account, meaning you have some enough money on your account if you're going for such trades, because this is volatile. And me looking at something like this tells me that this is a flag. So a flag, most of the times, no, a flag actually, not most of the times, a flag represents continuation of the previous trend. This move right here, we'll eventually see it get us back there. But before it does, we can anticipate a pullback. If I can go to M15, a pullback to this confluence area, to that confluence area. So before we can anticipate the buys to continue, there is an opportunity of price first coming here. I want us to have all these options so that you know what to look for when price actually comes in and gives you something. So this move right there is going to be equivalent to this move right here. Yeah, right there. That's what we need. So you need price to get there. That's what you need. That's what you need. After price reacting at least here or here, it's going to take us all the way up there. It's going to take us all the way up there. So it may react to this, it may not, but we are having a strong high there, which is which you can take as a strong support or resistance area, meaning price must react back. It cannot just break it, it must react back before it breaks that level. And we have only two levels where price can react back to. We have this one on H1, but also we have this fair value gap on H1, which is matching with our Fib retracement level. It is matching with our Fibonacci retracement level. So price is likely to retrace back to this Fib retracement level or to this order block, which is an M15 conference area. So price reacts to that and then gets us into buys once more. All right, I think that's it. Basically, if we are dealing with BTC, we're going to be seeing these short sells and then buys, or this kind of a sell all the way to here, and then we come in with a buy. But what you need to know is that general trend is a buy. You need to look for buys, mostly not sells. Sells are going to be retracements only. They're not going to be a general trend. All right, I think that's it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section that I may respond to them if you have those questions. If you don't have them, please, I want to remind you that we are always here Monday to Friday, where we analyze synthetic indices, and now we added even gold. We even added gold, and just like we analyzed early morning around 10:30, the price is now in a buy. We analyze this price is going to sell from there, and then we start buys, and that's why it's happening. This is the analysis. Buys to start here to get us all the way up there, and as we continue with the buys of gold. But I haven't entered yet. I think I was even late. I was supposed to enter now. Let's see. Yeah, this is a time to enter, I believe. But H4 is still too very far, so you can wait for at least, if you are a swing trader, you can wait. If you are a scalper and a day trader, then you can get an entry probably in a lower time frame like M5, and then make that buy again. But as for swing traders, you can wait for H1 to be above our 10 MA, and then you look at swinging all the way up there, or you wait for H4 to give you an entry. So that is it. And I've told you we normally analyze all these. So we have gold, we added gold recently, but also we have crash 500. We analyze crash 500. We analyze boom 1000. We analyze boom 500. We analyze V25S. We analyze V75, jump 50, jump 25, jump 10. All these are the assets that we analyze right here every day, Monday to Friday, and from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. East African time. So you can always be part of us and analyze with us. If you don't have an account that trades these other assets, the synthetic assets, you can check in the description to get a link that you can use to sign up for the broker that I use, and that is a Delive broker, where you can be able to trade all these assets in one account. I'm able to trade BTC, I'm able to trade Forex, I'm able to trade synthetic indices, all in one account. So that is only in the broker that I use, which is Delive. So you can use that. I'm being notified that if you use that link, then I will just be earning a small cents of commission when you make profits. Of course, when you make losses, I don't make money. Yeah, I can't make any penny. So when you use that link in the description, you also be supporting me, because it is my affiliate link. But I'm not promoting Delive. I'm just saying it's what I use. It's what I've been using for the past 5 years. So yeah, you can also use it and make it happen. Trade all assets in one account. Yeah, so for now, let's wrap up with BTC and we call it a day. So those who came in late, I said looking at daily time frame where price reacted to that fair value gap that we had right in here, we are now in a buy trend, and you can clearly see that we have an expanding falling wedge, meaning we can take advantage of it whenever it comes to these two ranges, or these two trend lines. So price now came to this up down trend line and got us back into buys. And that's why we have our general trend as an uptrend according to H4, and you can see clearly that we saw price react back to this order block on H4, and that's where the buys started from, with that big momentum move. And right about now, all we need is a pullback here, and then we continue with buys, or there according to H1 and M15, and then we continue with buys. That's how we'll be waiting to see if we get entries on these two levels. But the most likely to happen is this one, where you can anticipate some long-term buys for some good hours or even days to reach all the way to the upper trend line. Let me wish you guys a good day. Happy trading. See you tomorrow for the synthetic indices, but of course for BTC, we'll be back here on Friday, same time, 1 p.m. East African time to 1:30 p.m. East African time. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.